Intro. Most Hondas built in the last 10 years are not the bulletproof machines your parents drove. I've had Civics at 60,000 miles burning oil like a two-stroke. I've had CR-Vs with so much fuel in the oil it looked like chocolate milk. And I've had pilots misfiring on half their cylinders because Honda decided fewer working cylinders was a good idea. Today, I'm telling you which Honda engines to walk away from, and the one engine that still earns the reputation Honda built its name on. Stay to the end. The modern Honda problem. Honda earned its reputation on simple, over-engineered, naturally aspirated engines that ran forever on basic oil changes. Somewhere around 2013, that started to change. Emissions regulations pushed Honda toward direct injection, turbocharging, and cylinder deactivation. Every one of those technologies introduced a specific failure mode owners are still paying for today. Before you sign paperwork on any used Honda, you need to know what's under the hood, because the badge on the tailgate doesn't tell you the truth anymore. Engine 1. Avoid. The 1.5-liter Turbo L15B7. Found in 2016 plus Civic, 2017 plus CR-V, 2018 plus Accord. This is the engine most modern Honda buyers end up with, and it's the single biggest reliability step backward in Honda's recent history. The problem is called fuel dilution. In cold climates and on short trips, the direct injection system sprays extra fuel to warm the catalyst. That fuel washes past the piston rings and ends up in the crankcase. Pull the dipstick on a CR-V in Minnesota after a winter of school runs, and the oil level is above the full mark and smells like a gas pump. Fuel-diluted oil does not lubricate. Bearing wear accelerates, timing chain stretch happens early, and turbo bearings run dry on cold starts. Honda extended warranties on some of these engines and pushed a software update, but the update did not fix the fundamental problem. I've measured almost 2 quarts of fuel in the oil on a CR-V with 40,000 miles. That's not a car you rebuild. That's a car you sell. Repair cost when the bearings finally go. Engine replacement, $6,500 to $9,000. Engine 2, avoid. The J35 V6 with VCM. In 2008 plus Accord, V6, Pilot, Odyssey, Ridgeline. The J35 by itself is a strong engine. The problem is what Honda bolted onto it, variable cylinder management. VCM shuts down 3 of the 6 cylinders under light load to save fuel. On paper, it saves a mile per gallon. In practice, it destroys the engine. When cylinders shut down, the rings on those pistons lose their proper seal. Oil sneaks past the rings and gets burned when the cylinders come back online. That's why you'll see Pilots and Odysseys burning a quart of oil every 1,000 miles by 80,000. The oil ends up on the spark plugs, which start to misfire. The misfires damage the catalytic converters. And once the cats are gone, you're looking at $2,000 to $3,000 in exhaust work on top of an engine that is still drinking oil. The workaround owners use is a VCM muzzler, an $80 device that tricks the ECU into running all 6 cylinders all the time. It works, but it should never have been necessary. If you're shopping a J35, look for the manual transmission Accord V6, which never had VCM, or plan on installing the muzzler on day 1. Engine 3, avoid. The 2.0-liter and 2.4-liter direct injection Earth Dreams. Found in 2016 to 2021 Civic, 2013 to 2017. Accord, 2015 to 2020 C, RV base. Honda's naturally aspirated Earth Dreams engines sound like a return to form. They're not. Direct injection means fuel never touches the intake valves, and without that fuel wash, oil vapor from the PCV system bakes onto the valves as hard carbon. By 80,000 miles, you get rough idle, misfires under load, and a check engine light that no amount of injector cleaner will fix. The proper repair is walnut blasting, where a shop pulls the intake manifold and blasts the valve ports clean with crushed walnut shell. It's $400 to $600 every 60,000 miles, for as long as you own the car. Honda did not design these engines with a port injector to keep the valves clean, the way Toyota and Ford eventually did, so the carbon problem is permanent. The one engine you should actually buy, the K24. Now here's what you came for. If you want a Honda that will still be running when your neighbor's Turbo Civic is on its 3rd engine, You buy a K24. The K24 is Honda's 2.4-liter, naturally aspirated inline-4. It's port-injected, timing chain, not belt. No turbocharger, no cylinder deactivation, no fuel dilution, no carbon buildup. It uses VTEC the way Honda originally intended, as a valve timing mechanism, not as a fuel-saving gimmick. The K24 has been in production since 2002. 2 decades of refinement means every weak point has been identified and fixed. The oil pump gears, the timing chain tensioner, the VTC actuator. All of it has been through multiple revisions. What you're buying today is the mature version of an engine that was already better than what most manufacturers ship as new. Which Hondas came with the K24? 2003 to 2007 Accord. 2008 to 2012 Accord K24Z2 and K24Z3. 2013 to 2017 Accord K24W. 2002 to 2011 CR-V. 2012 to 2016 CR-V Base. 2004 to 2008 Acura TSX. 2009 to 2014 Acura TSX. 2007 to 2011 Honda Element. The Accord and TSX get the highest output variance, up to 205 horsepower in the TSX and 189 in the Accord Sport. The CR-V versions are detuned for torque and last just as long. Why the K24 lasts? Port injection sprays fuel across the back of the intake valve on every intake stroke. That constant fuel wash keeps the valve clean. No walnut blasting, ever. The engine hits 200,000 miles with the same clean intake it had at 20,000. No turbo means no oil-cooled bearings spinning at 200,000 revolutions per minute every time you accelerate. No thermal stress on turbo seals. No wastegate to fail. No fuel dilution, because the injectors are firing at low pressure into the intake, not spraying under 2,000 pounds per square inch directly into a cold cylinder. The timing chain is a real chain, not a belt, and it's designed for the life of the engine. Change the oil on time, and the chain will still be inside your car when the body rusts off around it. I have a customer with a 2007 Accord K24 at 340,000 miles. Original engine, original transmission, original clutch. He's replaced water pumps, 1 starter, and 1 alternator. That's it. That's the car Honda used to build. What to look for when you buy? When you're shopping, verify you're actually getting a K24 and not the smaller K20, or worse, one of the newer turbo motors. Pop the hood and look at the intake. On a K24, you'll see the injector rail sitting on top of the intake manifold, not screwed into the cylinder head. That's port injection. No turbo plumbing anywhere on the exhaust side. Check the oil cap. If it's clean and the oil on the underside looks amber, you're in good shape. If there's mayonnaise-colored sludge, walk away. That's coolant intrusion from a neglected head gasket. Ask for maintenance records. K24 owners who cared for these cars usually kept records because the car is worth caring for. Someone who couldn't be bothered to save receipts probably couldn't be bothered to change the oil at 5,000 miles either. Look under the car for oil weep around the VTC actuator on top of the engine and the front main seal. Small weep is normal at high mileage. Active drip means it needs attention, but neither is a deal breaker on an otherwise clean K24. The verdict. Honda used to make engines you could recommend without a caveat. Now, most of what they sell needs an asterisk. The 1.5 turbo, the J35 with VCM, and the direct injection Earth Dreams engines are the 3 you should walk past on the used lot without looking back. The repair bills on all 3 will erase whatever you saved by buying used. The K24 is what Honda built its reputation on, and it's the only modern Honda engine that still lives up to that reputation. Find a well-maintained K24 Accord, TSX, CR-V, or Element, do the basic maintenance, and you'll get 250,000 miles minimum with nothing dramatic going wrong. That's the Honda worth buying. Everything else, you're rolling the dice. If this saved you from a bad Honda purchase, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.